guys, so today's lesson is gonna be talking about backtesting compared to live testing. So I'm gonna explain both of them. I'm gonna tell you the pros and cons, and then you just decide which works best for you. So, what is backtesting? Backtesting is the process where you take your trading plan or strategy to test it compared to historical data. So basically, you need certain programs to do that. Obviously, you could use a trading view, like you have to pay for trading view, or you could use soft for FX. So basically what that does, it allows you to go back in time. So basically it allows you to go back to charts in 2019, 2020 and trade them without having the new data of today. So what that allows you to do. So that is so that's the basic backtest. So basically you go back in time and do simulations where you trade live market conditions but back in history. The best way to backtest is to get back in history and trade the exact time you're expecting to trade. If you plan on trading from, for example, obviously from 6 to 9 a.m., that's the time you want to backtest your strategy on. So if, let's say, you have a job you work in and 6 to 9 doesn't work for you to trade, then you to see what time works. For example, if you plan to trade from 5 a.m. until 7 a.m., that is the time you want to backtest your strategy on. So you know that your strategy works during that time, so you can test it, and for it to be useful and successful in the live market when you do live trading. When when the strategy and trading times are all set, now you will trade. When you're doing that, you have to try and make the candles form as slow as possible. You don't want to just keep skipping them, because when you do backtesting, it allows you to make the candles print as fast or as slow as you want. The whole idea of that, you want them to print as relatively slow as market conditions, as real-time markets. You can move them fast or slow, but the whole idea is that you don't want to just skip so you can see if it's a winner or it's a loser, but you want to see how you can manage your trade, how you could like how the candles form, what happened, that type of stuff you need to be paying attention to during the sessions. And obviously when backtesting, you want to manage your trade. So basically you're gonna risk manage. If the trade's not going your way, are you gonna cut the positions? Are you gonna leave the positions running? That type of stuff. So you gotta be aware of these things. Now we're gonna talk about backtesting pros and cons. So pros: time saving is gonna save you a lot of time. So you can go through 2 months of data within days. Like that's how good it is to backtest. So that's the first good thing. Then we have historical data to test on the data we have, which is data that actually happened before. So nothing. It's not like it's made up. It's data that you had before that you just working on at the moment. Then you're not gonna be losing any financials. So you're not gonna be putting money in. It's just like an account, like a demo account that the program allows you to put in some money. If you use software for FX, it does. But if you use TradingView, then just basically experimenting and using and seeing if the setups you're trying to execute on work or don't. That's pretty much it. Then reliable result, which is true. Whatever results you get during the backtesting are most likely to reflect on what you potentially could gain in the live markets. Then we have fast data collection. Like I said before, when at time saving, it's gonna give you a lot of data to cover within a short period of time. So you can go through 3 months, 4 months within a week or two. So that's what that means. Then we're gonna talk about the cons. Not testing your fund. It's not gonna test the way you get emotional, the way your psychology, like the way your psychology gets affected with the markets. Because the thing is, you can move candles as fast and slow as you can, as we mentioned, and you don't have any money attached to the process at some points. So basically, you're not gonna be worried that this trade may not work. You're not gonna be affected. You're not gonna feel that emotional rush that you usually get when you trade on live. And then fast forwarding, not taking time to analyze, which is true. You could be like, okay, this trade is not gonna work. I'm gonna skip it and move on to the next day. But you're not taking time to analyze why the trade didn't work, or why the trade worked, because you have the tools to make you go from from one day to the next as fast as in seconds or minutes. So that's one problem I find personally with backtesting. And then you don't have real market conditions. Although it's, like I said, it simulates the real market because it's the historical data, but the difference is that you could speed up the process. You could make candles print full 30-minute candles. You can make them print in minutes. So in that case, sometimes it just becomes a little bit tricky. Then you have over trading. Obviously, you're going to be taking multiple positions a session, which is not the plan, obviously, because we want to take 1 to 2 trades a day. That's how my mentor taught me. 1 to 2 trades a day, and that's it. We call it a day. Either it's a win or a loss, and then we move on to the next day. But with backtesting, we could end up with over trading problems. It doesn't build discipline, because at that point you're not sitting there for 30 minutes waiting for candles to close. You just rush into the process. So that's not a problem. Discipline is very important in trading. Now we're going to be talking about live testing. So what is live testing? Live testing is when you take your trading plan, when you take your trading strategy or plan and test it in real live markets. So basically, just go on Monday, like for example, tomorrow's Monday, markets are open, you go trade and you trade Monday. That's what that means. You trade during the live market sessions. The best way to live test your strategy is to see what time you plan on trading. So if you, like I said before, if you plan for trade from 6 to 9, that's the plan you want to stick to. And whatever plan works for you, that's the time you wanna stick, and that's the plan you wanna trade in. When that is set, you can take either paper trades. You can paper trade strategies just in your head. So you say, okay, I take a position here. I'm gonna see how it plays out. So that's the first one, and then because at that time you can see how the market works, and it's going to be real time data. So the way the candles print, that's going to be the way the candles will keep printing time and time again. Of course, you're not slowing them down and you're not moving them faster, just the way the market is. And then you can use also demo account. The benefit of using a demo account is that there is money in it, fake money that will affect your psychology, but it wouldn't be as good as having a real account, because when you have a real account, basically your psychology and emotions are get affected strongly more than it would be affected with a paper trade or with a demo account. So that's why the differences are there. And then by doing so, you would be experiencing real-time market conditions, like I mentioned before, and how candles print and how you would react to different conditions, which is self-explanatory. If the candles are printed against you, how are you going to manage them? Because you cannot stop the candles. Be like, oh, let me stop this. I'm going to see what I could do. The way it does, the way you manage it right away. Then when doing so, you want to see how your emotional and mental psychology get affected by the charts, which I mentioned before, because that's what live trading would do to you. It's gonna push you and make you try and see how you could manage your emotions and your mental state during this session. So the pros and cons of live testing. So pros: training discipline. So you're gonna have to stick to a plan. So if you say 1 or 2 trades and that's it, you have to stick to it. If you can't, then you're gonna have a problem. You're gonna be losing a lot of money. So that's one pro I find. When discipline is very important. Real-time market movement and structure. So however the market prints, you're gonna see it instantly, and that's what you're gonna be working with. That's the second thing. And then we have exercising mental psychology and emotional rush. So if let's say you take a buy position, then the trade goes down, it goes into a drawdown of 5 pips, then you're gonna be worried. Oh, it's gonna hit my stop loss. Gonna do this. Gonna do that. How would you work with it at that point? Excuse me. And then when you live trade, you're gonna have to manage risk, obviously. So when there's money on it, then you're gonna know how you're supposed to manage risk. Are you gonna be cutting positions? Are you gonna let the positions run to full stop loss? That's something you need to look into. Then the cons. It takes time to collect data, which is obvious, because if you're gonna have 3 months to let's say test your strategy, it's gonna take you 3 months. So that's one drawdown. And then if you're using real account, obviously you're gonna have a financial loss. So that's what I think about the differences between both of them. And obviously you could try both and see which one works best for you. And I mean, I did personally, I did both. When the backtesting was good with the demo account, everything worked. But when you move to the live market, it's just different, because you don't have your psychology, your emotions get involved, and everything becomes a little bit more difficult. And that will be it for the lesson. I appreciate you all listening, and we'll see you again next week. Have a good one.